תודה רבה צדיק. See you later. Wow. Baruch Hashem. So, shalom lekulam. My Rabbi Pinchas, who usually gives limud in the afternoon, is not present here. He has gone to do some Torah work elsewhere. So he asked me to stand in for him to give a shiur in his place. Baruch Hashem. So usually in my limud, or in our limudim, we start with halachot, but I mean before the main limud. But today, all this time, we are not going to do halachot for today, but B'ezrat Hashem, when we return to our schedules, we will be able to learn halachot.
Look at the microphone here.
Excuse me, I'm on. So our limud today, I want to take it from the. I take my limud from the. From the Torah, of course, all the limudim are from Torah. But it's from Vaikra, the book of Vaikra, 19, Perek Yud Tet, and the pasuk Yud Tet. I just wanted to read it for to our hearing, and we take up from there. Since it's a pasuk about the prohibition, about mixing of things. And not the entire pasuk, but I will concentrate on a specific word. The entire pasuk, maybe I should read the entire pasuk. It reads as follows. In Hebrew first. Et hukotai tishmiru be'amitecha lo tarbi'a ikelaim tzadicha lo תזירה כלאים ובגד כלאים, שיעתנז לא יעלה עליך. In a translation, you shall observe my decrees. The decrees that the law that we do not know the reason. You shall not mate your animals into another species. But we see it in the world today. You shall not plant your field with mixed seed. We see it today. And a garment that is a mixture of combined fiber, meaning the wool and the linen, shall not come upon you. I mean, my limud is based on the last passage where it says, Ubeged Kilaim Shiatnez Lo Ya'ale Alecha. The last passage of that verse. And a garment that is a mixture of a combined fibers, meaning the wool and the linen, shall not come upon you. This is the Torah. The passage starts with the word hoka, meaning a decree that the king has decreed. From us, we do not know the reason why they were given. And the rationale behind it, we don't know. We only do them because that is the decree of the king. It's the decree of the master. Of anything, seen or unseen. We will explore this passage as our master Arizal teaches. Well, according to all the teaching of our master, Ari Kadosh. Why that specific passage? Because we will see that that very passage it seems to be connected to the sin of Kayin. Why? I do not know. And we will see a number of ideas propounded or advanced in the same pasuk, particularly by Ari Kadosh. Advanced a lot of ideas when it comes to the sin of, or when it comes to Kayin's sin, Kayin's action. And we shall explore. B'ezrat Hashem. Let me send the page out of Taamei Mitsvot and the Parasha Kedushim. I send it in a group for us to follow what what Arizal is teaching us.
יש מישהו שבודק פה תפילין?
מה?
מישהו שבודק פה תפילין.
אתה רוצה
בדיקה.
בדיקת
בדיקה
תפילין?
של תפילין, כן.
יש לי תפילין שם.
לא, לא, אני רוצה בדיקה שיבדקו לי תפילין.
לא.
אתה לא יודע אם יש פה מישהו?
לא עכשיו.
Okay, if you want in English, when I can I come?
Not now. Not now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Have a good day.
תודה. Sorry, I misunderstood. Sorry, somebody wanted to check my tefillin. Yes. Did I send that passage? Okay. Not too sure why it's so slow to send. Okay, the page has been sent. What is sent? Let's explore quickly. As I said from the very beginning, this is the command that it forbid us not to mix wool and linen. Why? Because we know wool is from animals, whereas linen is from trees. We shall not have a mixture. We know that, although it speaks about much more about the Kayin or the Kohanim, every Jew is under this specific prohibition. What does that really mean? We will explore. Taamei Mitsvot, Parasha Kedushim. Parasha Kedushim. What is Kedushim? Kadosh is from the word Kadosh. Kadosh is not the way many theological schools outside of the Torah world think it is. Kadosh is meant to separate, and we live in a world of separation. The world of separation, that a linen is a linen, and the wool is wool. A woman is a woman, and a man is a man. Let's look at this. Is the heading tells that Azarat Sheatinez Netivar Beinin Chete Kayin Behevel Benevar Bo Mitzvot Litzamer Efishaten Ma Mekomam. What he's saying there? Sorry, there is also, I could not find one of my books here, or one of our books here. It's the Shaarei Mitsvot, the same on the same Pasha, the Pasha Kedushim. The prohibition against Shatnet is explained in the context of mystical dimension of the sin of Kayin and the Abel. That's what Arya Kadosh is saying. Now the question is, why? How? Let's look at this. In this context, the mystical essence of wool and the linen And the place in the spiritual hierarchy is also explained. Let's look at what who the two people were, Kayin and Abel, or Hevel in Hebrew. Kayin and Abel were the sons of Adam and Eve. Which Eve? People said Eve, Adam and Chava. But which Chava? Because we know there are two. There were two of them, the first and the last one. After the expulsion from the Garden of Eden, Kain worked as a farmer, and Abel as a shepherd. We remember also the case of Joseph when he presented some of his brothers to Pharaoh. And before he prepared them what to say and what not to say before the Pharaoh. And they said, when Pharaoh is asking you about this and that, tell him that you are just a shepherd. A shepherd. Not a farmer, but a shepherd. The concept of a shepherd, or the idea behind, it tells us that it's somebody who is not fit for all the purpose of Pharaoh. And Joseph knew, because he knew Pharaoh, the intention of Pharaoh, is that, well, the shepherds are not fit for war. Kain brought God an offering of plant. Well, because the two of them, we know, the two of them, each one brought, as the Torah narrates, each one brought an offering before Akadosh Baruch Hu. Hevel brought a sheep, whereas Kain brought the vegetables. What are these vegetables? What are all these things for? But the correct order is Kain who brought the concept of offering. Because Kain is the one who is mentioned first. And Hevel, his brother, followed, because he was a shepherd. He gave from his own area. But God only accepted, as the Torah narrates, God only accepted Abel's offering. There are a number of, course, there are many of explanations, but I will confine myself to a specific one. But here, the explanation focused much, specific one, meaning that I will focus much more on Kain offering. And why Arizal bring all these things to understand the mixture or the sin of Kain. What type of a sin did he commit? Did he commit the same, or do we commit the same thing that Kain committed? Because we know that through the reincarnation, the Gilgulim, Kain keep on repeating, coming back to life like anybody else. And we see. Let's go to the text. What kind of offering was that? The sages of Talmud says this was a flex. In other words, Kain presented all his offering was of a flex. Flex. You remember cornflakes and so forth? We buy it in the shops. Cornflakes. That is what Kayin presented as an offering. The text. Nodeh. Misha Richizil. Bemam. Amocher. Shada. Leachivro. Leze. Not leze, but lezayin, so to say. Sheneem lo izarnu tishtan betamo pi begvra iki apshtan mechachish koach akraka ve'en chazor ele ati ze ati zayin shenaim. Is it possible to plug your phone there, please? Can you plug your phone there, please? Sorry for that. Sadiq. Sadiq. Is it possible to speak outside, please? Just say I'm being recorded here. Basically, what Ariaka also said in the Taamei Mitsvot is, it is known that our sages said that if someone leases his field for all to another, not for, but to another person for 7 years, the letter, meaning the lessee, should not sow it with a flaxseed. The reason for this is explained in the Talmud. I'm sending the Mishnah on this specific topic. On this specific topic.
Excuse me. Please. I won't sleep.
I just wanted to let you know. I'm being recorded here, and I don't want sleep. But can you plug your phone there, please?
No, big white.
Excuse me?
Big white.
Big white. What does that mean?
Big white. Not noisy. Big white.
You put it on silence? Okay, put it on silence, please. Okay. Thank you. Sorry for that interruption once again.
Go make chips. You need chips.
Excuse me, sir.
You need chips.
Excuse me. I am online. Okay. The Mishnah, as you can see on top there, is the Mishnah. For the sake of time, the Mishnah says, one who receives a field from another, who cultivated it for a few years, that is, fewer than 7 years, may not plant flax in it. Its flow greatly weakens, its flax weakens the soil. And if a sycamore tree was grown in the field, it does not have a right to beam it, fashioned from the branches of the sycamore tree. Therefore, he may not cut down its branches for its own use, as it takes many years for new ones to grow. If he receives the field from him for 7 years, in the first year he may not plant. Well, he may plant, not he may not. In the first year he may plant flax in it, and he does have right to the means fashioned from the branches of the sycamore trees. The Gemara says. Let me just read what the Gemara says quickly. The Gemara says, quoting the Amora. Abai says, although he does not have right to the beams fashioned from the branches of the sycamore tree, he does have right to value of the enhancement of the sycamore tree, the value of its growth. The value of its growth. Abai continues still. Oh, but before we get there, let's go. As long as you have got the page, you follow the sequence of the teaching of Arya Kadosh. The pages that it reads as follows. I mean, we read it according to Arya Kadosh. This is the mystical allocate of flax seed, that it depleted the power of the earth for 7 years. The power of earth is this ban. Not ban. Let me not mention about ban first. We will come to that. This is 52 name, which is the inner divine power of Malphite. Let's take the information and then we will go back and correct each one of this. Flax seed depleted the power of all the 7 lower sephirot. Within here, alluded to here as 7 years. Yeah. Let's get to the information. ויבוא קין, ויבוא קין, מפרי האדמה פימה, שקרה פרי האדמה, על שהוא יונק כל כוח האדמה, ועקורו משם ומחישו, וזהו מפרי האדמה, ומזה הוציאו רזהו, our sages. The shell פשטן היה. And whereas in a book Mitzvah, Shaarei Mitsvot, it reads as follows: ולכן הקריב פשטן, שמכחישת כוח, הקרקע בשווה שנים, בשוויה שנים, ונזכיר, והוא עניין, שם בן, הנזכר, הנקרא כוח הקריקה שהיא מלכות. דיצירה והפשטן מחשיש כל השביעה התחתונות שבע, הנקראים שבע שנים. This is basically what he says here. This is the mystical eloquence of Flexi, that it depletes the power of the earth for 7 years. The power of the earth is 52, which is the inner divine power of Malphite. Flexi depleted the power of the 7 lower Sephirot. Within a alluded to here is 7 years. How so? Oh, but I read that before. This one, the following one, I read this one before. וזה אמרו, ויבוא קין מפרי האדמה. אומר לו, מאות פרי הנקרא פרי האדמה. מיוחס עלה לסביבת היותו. יונק כל כוח האדמה. ועוקרו ממנה ומחקשים אותה. וממלא זו דקתמו, I beg your pardon, דקדוקו רזל, שהיא זרע פשטן. Basically, what I understood from this, the writings, this is the mystical meaning of the verse. Kayin brought the fruit. Kayin brought the fruit of the earth, meaning from the produce that is stemmed the fruit of the earth, because it saves all the power of the earth. The flex seed, or the flex saps all the power of the earth, removing from it and depleting it. Indeed, this is how our sage concluded that Kayin's offering was a flex seed. והנה, פרי זה העולה מנחה להי, שהוא זל, וחזיר לשורש, ונשאר המל. אתה חסיר משם בן, וזהו חטא קין. Again, נשארה כוונות, it reads as follows. והעלהו מניחה לה, שהוא זה, וחזירו לשורשו, וחוסר כוח. הוויה זה דבן מן הנקבה, וזה היה חטאו של קין. Kayin offered this plant as an offering to God. That is to Zeil and Pin. We will let's get the information as my Rosh Yeshiva Rabbi Pinchas taught me. returning it to its source, and the living Malphite to be freed of the ban, meaning 52. This was Kayin's sin. Let's continue again. ואומנם הבל בא לתקן מאות קין והביא צמר ועניין. That is it. Taamei Mitsvot. Whereas Shaarei Mitsvot reads as follows: ואומנם הבל רוצה לתקן פגמו של קין, וזה ההבל הביא גם הוא וגו אחרי חטאו של אחיו, מבכורות ניצנו וגו. והעניין הוא Abel. The Torah says also Gam. Abel also did the same thing. He did not bring the flax. The flax is it. He brought the wool, meaning he brought the sheep. Abel then attempted to rectify Kayin's error, and they brought an offering of wool. As I said, the mystical explanation of this is as follows. Riakadosh. כי דעתי הזה שאומרית זה לנוק הוא בא מדעתי עליון. מה זה? דמזלה יקרא כנודע. תחילה הביכן נמשך ההוא, רוחה שנתן זה. בנוקבה בביאה, קדימה הנקרא, דעת הנודעה, אצלנו. והנה הוא נשמח, פרדון, נמשיך מנדעת העליון, הנקרא מזלה קדישה. דדיקנה קדישה אבא, לא, אריך אלפין. The source of the art that is Alpine is imparted down to Nukuba. We know this. Is in the supernal that of the beloved Mazala. Mazal, not Mazala, but in Aramaic is Mazala, but here Mazal in Hebrew. As is known. כי על יד מתי חיוורים ואימא לא אבא ואימא, ובשם נתוסף כוח לזה, ואז נדזבוק בנוק. והיב בה רוחה כנודע בסדר שעה המטה להרוג המזיקים אשר על יד מזדווגים ואבא ואמא כנודע ומשם נוסף כוח בזה ואז מזדיווק בנוקבה ונותנו בה כמבואר אצלנו באורח בעניין קריאת שמע שעל המיטה. This mazal called beloved, for through this level of that, Abba and Ima unite. And from this union, additional power is supplied to ZLMP, enabling it to couple with Nukva and they impart some of this spirit to her. As explained in our exposition of liturgy, of the Shema recited before going to sleep, whose purpose is to kill off the destructive forces. Let's take one more passage before we get there. Before we get to the meaning of all this. ונמצא שאבי מצר להחזיר בו סוד דעת עליון כדי להשפיע גם בזה, ואז גם הוא יחזור לשוב בכוח זה, שעקר קין משם והוא רוחה, ונמצא כי להיות שקין חוטא במלכות דהיצירה, ועיקר ממנה שם בן, הנזכר לכן הוצליח הבל לתקן זה, לחזור להמשיך מן הדעת העליון במזלה קדישה דה אריך אנפין דהיצירה עצמה עד זה וחזור זה להזידבוק בה ולמיהב בה ההוא רוחה קדישה כבקדמית כבקדמתה. It follows that Abel offered wool in order to restore the flux of supernal da'at, so that it also reached Zeal Anpin, enabling it to return to restore this strength that Kayin removed from Nukba. the spirit referred to above. Basically, therefore, Abel offered some of the choices of his flock. This is because, as we have explained, Kayin's sin was caused a blemish in the Malphite of Yetzirah. So Abel had to elicit divine energy from supernal Da'at of Ari Alpin of Yetzirah. And it is known that all the power of this level of Da'at is present within the Yesod of Yetzirah. For Yesod is called alive. Thus, the inner essence of the art is Yesod. We have now exhausted not all of them. The Sugya is big, but we are going to continue, Besot Hashem, the other time to explore that. Let's look at this. Let's look at the passage under the Gemara, or the Mishnah and the Gemara, the exposition of the Gemara explaining what the Mishnah means. The pages is in the group. First of all, let's get a proper perspective of some of the concepts used. One of those concepts is the earth. You remember, we are exploring it to understand what exactly entails in the sin of Kayin. And what is that sin all about? A person who look at the concept of offering. It starts with Kayin, the firstborn. According to the Torah law, the firstborn has got a number of offices as a firstborn. Number one, a firstborn is not only a king, but he holds also the office of Kehuna. The priest, the high priest, is his. And somewhere also, Ariya Kadosh teach that Kayin will come back as Moshiach. Or the concept of Moshiach is within Kayin. How did a person that we are told by the Torah, because when a person comes to the point of committing an avera, a sin, but this is the very same person prior to the action, he has in his mind, in his world, in his makeup, he understood the concept of zevachim, offering. He's the first to come up. I cannot remember the Torah even mention about Adam Harishon having offered. All the concept of offering being associated with Adam Harishon. The first person I could remember so far, I stand to be corrected, to come up with the concept of offering is Kayin. Where did he get this concept from? What exactly did he understand? What exactly did he know? And then we come again. How could such a great person was trapped? And if it was a trap, what kind of a trap was it? Certainly, he was emulated by his young brother. His young brother, Hevel, the Torah says, Gam Hevel Yavi. He also brought an offering. But how is it that Kayin's offering was not accepted? But it was that of Hevel, his brother's offering, was accepted. Let's look at this. We have got Havaya as mentioned by Ariya Kadosh. Havaya, we know, is Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Havaya, mentioned at the very, very beginning of this lesson, of the lesson. Havaya. We know for sure, in terms of Patsufim, we know that Yud is associated with Abba, the father. Whereas Hey, it refers to Ima. And the Vav refers to Za. Za. Whereas the last Hey, it refers to Malphite. Now, in this explanation, in this very explanation of all the teaching of Ariya Kadosh said, uses the word, the Shem called ban. And the ban is the milui of Havaya, but the milui, this milui is the fourth milui. We have got many ways of writing out the name Havaya. But the fourth spelling of the fourth stage, so far that we are accustomed to, is Havaya in Miloi, but it spells out like this. You do have got Yud, Vav, Dalet, right? And then we have got Vav, I mean not Vav, Hey, Hey, Vav, Vav, Hey, Hey. The gematria value of that very same milui is 52. This is what it is being referred to in Taamei Mitsvot by Ariya Kadosh. Whereas in Shaarei Mitsvot, it uses much more the word ban. Why? What is the relationship? And what does ban mean? Please. What does that ban mean? And what is the relationship between 52 and the ban? We know that 50 is Nun. The gematria value of the letter Nun is 50. and the two is bet. That's why it uses the word ban. This is the name associated with the last hay, which is Malchut. What is exactly Arya Kadosh is trying to teach us here on this very specific because we wanted to understand the nature of Kayin, the nature of Kayin's sin. We wanted to understand that. Now, according to Arya Kadosh, he says the sin of Kayin. But before we get to the sin, I just wanted to read something quickly for you here, so that we get to understand where exactly as Arya Kadosh is driving us to. We know the 10 Sefirot. Draw the circle here. We do have got Chokhmah. We have got Bina, and we have got Da'at, and we do have got. Am I right? Yes. Am I right? We have got Chesed. We have got Gevurah. We have got the Gevurah. We have got Netzach. We have got Hod. We have got Yesod. And then you have got Malchut. Ten Sefirot. So we can see there. Now, wait a second. I'm not a very good drawer, but not a very good drawer. Sincere apology. Not a very good drawer. The Sefirot are arranged on a 3 axes. We know that. We are familiar with that. The right axis, the middle axis, middle X, and the left X. And we know that this is what is called the Chabad. Here, the middle one. Not the middle one. The 3 are called the Chabad. Follow me. Follow me the best of your ability for us to enable us working together. Arya Kadosh is saying, Nukuva here, which is the ban, receives everything from the upper world. Meaning that all the spiritual energies that reach to any lower world called Malchut comes to Malchut through the Yesod. What is Yesod? Yesod is what is called the foundation. And this six Sefirot, this is what is called Za. 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 Or you can add Za. Now, when Za is this valve in the name Havaya. And everything, according to Ari Kadosh here, he says, everything that you find in this last hay is a manifestation of the world of Yetzirah. We know that each of these four letters of the name Havaya parallels to the four spiritual worlds. What are those worlds? What are those worlds? The world of Atzirut and the world of Bria and the world of Yetzirah and the world of Asiya. Asiya, no. Pardon me. Asiya. These four worlds parallel exactly the name, the four letters of the name Havaya. And the Akadosh Baruch Hu here is saying, everything that you find in the world of Atiyah is a manifestation of the Malchut of the world of Yetzirah, which is Za. Now, the relationship between this specific world, meaning the relationship between this six Sefirot with the last one, which is called Malchut, the last circle. Here, the relation is a relationship of man and a wife. Just as the relationship between the Yud and the Hey is a relationship of Abba and the Ima, the father and the mother. This union, all this couple, they don't get separated. Unlike these two, meaning Vav and the Hey, they get separated. How so? Just like here, Malchut is far from the world of Za, meaning the world of Yetzirah, which is Za. Now, we are going back to the concept of Kayin's sin. And we know, or not that we know, Ari Kadosh is saying this when Ima is in union, and when Abba and the Ima is in union, And they are always together, they don't get separated. They are the one who give extra power to Za, meaning to Vav, meaning to the world of Yetzirah, so that Vav or Za, or the world of Yetzirah, to enable this world couple with the Malphite, the last Hey. There is no extra divine power. There is no extra divine power to Za if the couple did not give it, or there is no coupling between Abba and the Ima. The Yud and the Hey, the first Hey. If they cease, Chash v'Shalom, if they cease to couple, Chash v'Shalom, then the entire world, the world of Za, and subsequently the world of the Malchut, the world of Asiya, also cease to be. I have learned also from Rabbi Pinchas that anything that takes place in the world of Asiya, it must have started with the first two letters of the name Havaya, from Abba and the Ima. Without them coupling, nothing exists in this specific two world. And probably, Chash v'Shalom, that would be also the end of this two world. The world of Yetzirah and the world of Asiya. Let's go to, so now, what energy, or what spiritual energy does the couple, meaning Abba and the Ima, give it to Za in order for Za to give it to the Malchut? And that is what is called the art. Can you see here? The art. What is the art? In many cases, we think that, and we are made to understand that da is knowledge. The art is knowledge. Yes, that is what is translated. But from the Arya Kadoshi perspective, at the sort level, the art, it refers to Zera. You remember? Do you remember what the Masechet Sanhedrin, the page that I have sent it to you? What did it say? What did it say? Think, just a second. I think I have. It's a Masechet Sanhedrin. The page should be there, where it reads as follows. Let me just read it in, for me to continue later. Eni veha nikra le Rav Yehuda le Rav Yitzchak Biria Kehalat Za וכולי. ומוצא אני מר ממות את האישה אשר היא Matsodim, Beacharanim, Beamalo, Kagon man, Beamalo, Vegon amach, Meitikaf, Tikfa, Eviri, Ivri, Uvori, sorry, I beg your pardon. Uvori, Me'avar, Bemala. The Gemara says, or the Gemara wonders, is that so? But what is the topic? The topic preceded. I just omitted the first passage of the same Gemara. But didn't Rav Yehuda once read Rav Yitzchak, his son, from the verse, and I find more bitter than death, the woman whose heart is snares and the nets. This is also a passage in Kohelet. And the Rav Yitzchak said to him, such as whom? And the Rav Yehuda said to him, such as your mother. The Gemara responded, this is not a contradiction. Granted, she is difficult and angry. But for afterward, she is conciliatory. So is born more, so is she both more bitter than death, and a source of calmness and a joy for him at the different times. Let me just read it, the whole passage in English. Shmuel Bar Unia says, in the name of Rav, a woman is a raw material. A woman is a raw material, like a vessel that has not been completed, and it makes a covenant, becoming truly connected only to the one who made her vessel through her first act of sexual intercourse. As it is stated, quote, for your maker is your husband. The lot of words is, sorry, the page was cut. The union between Za and He, meaning Malchut, is what is being referred to in the Gemara. Why is a woman referred to as a raw material? Because it is fragile. Comes now to the art. A woman's development, spiritually and physically, is dependent on her union with Za. The Vav. And the Vav, to enable her couple with her, the Malchut, he must receive that energy from the couple of his father and mother. The Yud and He. And that is what is called that. And what is really not that, no, I beg your pardon. I take my word back. The art, it refers to the zera of man. That's what Yakadosh Baruch Hu is saying here. And that is what is being referred to when you have got, look at the symbolic language used. If you rent your field to another person, in 7 years, you are not allowed to sow it with a flax seed. Why? Because the flax seed saps the energy of the earth. What is that energy being referred to? This is the art, meaning the zera. Look at what the Gemara says. He uses the word zeraim. What is zeraim? The seed. What is that seed? That seed is what the Za is giving to the hay, the last hay, meaning to the world of to Malchut, to his wife, to his partner. Za gets also that from his parents. So now, what is Kayin's sin? Kayin's sin, according to Arya Kadosh, I will bring this because we are now going a little bit to the end of the limud. It's very intense, and my rabbi taught me of God to present a limud in his place, and he taught me not to prepare. He taught me not today. He taught me not to prepare. So why? Because in preparing, you are also inviting some destructive forces here and there to intercept your teaching that you have prepared. Just take the book, read, and teach. Because if you are prepared, people are listening to you. But if you are not prepared, then they are listening to Akadosh Baruch Hu. Because it's not your word. It's not your word. It's not your Torah. Yes, it becomes your Torah. But people need to listen to Akadosh Baruch Hu. That's why my rabbi always insists to his students that they should not get prepared. They must prepare to teach, but they must not prepare what they are going to present. Let's come to our, maybe I shouldn't. So we saw that according to Arya Kadosh wants us to understand where Kayin committed a sin and what that sin is all about. And there are so many concepts in Arya Kadosh brought forward, all into explanation. Now, we know that Za, meaning the world of Yetzirah, must reflect, must project, it manifest itself in the lower world. So is, even in the world of Yetzirah, what is happening in the world of Yetzirah is a reflection of the upper world. As I said, if they cease to project, everything dies here. How? The 7 years that are corresponding to the 7 kings. We remember the 7 kings. These are not just years. Yes, the mention is years. But these are 7 kings being said here. 7 days of the week. We have got Shemitah, 7 years. Then we have got 59 years. How do they call them? In English, they call, what is this? Jubilee, they call it a Jubilee, something like that. Because 7 times 7 is 40. It's 49. And on the 50th year, requires a Jew to relinquish the land. It's another sugya that is more deeper, also deeper than what I'm saying it now. Then it appears on the surface. Let's go to the scene, to the nature of the scene of now the scene of Kayin. Now, in the world of Malphite, is where this name operates, which is called ban. The gematria value of the word ban is 52. It's the same. Wherever you find 52 in the writings, or we are saying, or we are mentioning 52, we are referring it to ban. And when we are saying ban, we are referring it to 52. Changing the numbers and transform them into letters. Now, Kayin, when he brought the flax seed that depletes the land, meaning it depletes the energy of this hay, the power of hay is to produce the produce. The Malphite, the power of hay. But she can only do that if she is enforced, not forced, enforced. If she is being not imposed, but yeah, enforced. If she is supported, that's also a cheaper word to use. If she is enforced to do that, but if you take the power from her through this thing that is mentioned in the Gemara, flaxseed, then you have depleted the energy of this hay. And we know that energy was given to her by Zah, who received it from his father and the Ima, from that couple. Now, the scene of, let me just read it quickly here. We know, as I was drawing this, the Sephirot, we know that the 6 Sephirot, all of them, they are spiritual energy. They all come to the Yesod of Zah. What is the Yesod? That private part that we abuse a lot. She must receive that, or she has to receive that for her to survive. She has to receive that from Zah, or meaning from the Yesod of Zah. Now, when it says Kayin sinned, what exactly did it mean? Kayin wanted to elevate this name, this very name, Ban. The Melui is this, Yud Hey Hey, Vav Vav Hey Hey. Kayin wanted to elevate this name to go into the level of Zah. That's what he says here. That's what it says here. That's what it says here. We just it even says here, Vehine perize haola mincha la shehu za vehazir vehachazir to return and the returning leshoresh to the source of benishar hamil ata chasir meshem ban vezehu chete Kayin. Kayin offered this plant as an offering to God, that is to Zealpin. Yes, this is when it says ban, is the name of Havaya. It's just written in different way in terms of Milui. So Kayin wanted to return this name to where it come from, where into Zah. That's what Ariakato is saying here. In the living Malchut, living meaning it's not the entire hay that should be. The Malchut will remain Malchut, but the energy of it, the power that it has, it must be returning to its source. To where? Let's say, let's look at this. Returning it to its source. In the living Malchut, befret, deprived of Malchut, of the name Ban. This was Kayin's sin. This is Kayin's sin. Now, let me pause a little bit here because we are now drawing it closer to the end of my limud for today. In most cases, when you look at, for example, our world, we have got so many things happening in an area of life. In the politics, for example, in all the other areas, we find people who are saying they want to uproot something from where it was intended and the way it is intended to be. And we want to uproot something out of it, or we want to uproot it itself entirely under the name so-called. For example, I wanted to use this example. Not many, a few civilizations, they came to different cultures. They planted their own ideas. So for you to plant an idea into a certain culture, you are also depleting what was there before. It's common in many cases. You deplete the spiritual energy of this culture, of these people. You deplete the spiritual energy of the tradition and the custom of these very people. In the name of developing them, in the name of I wanted to develop them, like in the Western world, when they came to, for example, they came to Africa, what did they say? They spoke the same language. We are going to develop the barbaric nations of Africa. But look at what they did. It depleted all they gave us, depleted our spiritual energies. The essence of us, the spiritual essence of us was depleted. And completely, not completely, to the certain extent that we do not know, we don't have strength anymore. And we have got this thing called equality. Equality to a certain extent has been also the concept itself has been distorted. The way is being interpreted, equality has even permeated the fabrics of families. A wife does not truly understand to the fullest the essence of being a woman and a wife. She doesn't. So is a man. The man also does truly not understand him as a man, his role, his position in this very, very world. Both found themselves. I have learned, I wanted to bring this aspect into what I'm saying. I've learned from Rabbi Pinchas. When you do have got a disobedient wife, or when you have got, for example, a nagging mother-in-law, you must be careful not to judge either one of them. How so? Let's go back there to this. The wife can only have that spiritual energy called da'at, either through you teaching your wife Torah or through the union. But be careful about the union. If it is out of pleasure, it's just like you showing the field that was rendered to you, that was leased to you, showing it with a flexed seed. That in itself will deplete the energy that should have built your wife, the Malphite. Kayin's sin was not because because of the vegetables. It is what is represented by the vegetables. It's not the vegetable that you think it is. It's a flex. The Amoraim, the Tanaim and the Amoraim, not the Amoraim, the Tanaim and the Amoraim, they understood the pishtan, the vegetable mentioned there, to be no any other thing but the flex. The flex that deplete the energy of the Malchut. Kayin's reasoning and the intention is to elevate that spiritual energy of the ban to where? To Zah. And what do we do, for example, on Shabbat? And what is Shabbat? Shabbat is the Malchut, the last day. Every day, every Shabbat, we are expected to elevate this Malchut from the lower world, meaning from the Kalipa or the Kalipot. If it is not, then she will always remain in the world of Kalipa. So is your wife. So that's why there are so many opinions that a wife must not really be far from the husband. Because why? Because she is vulnerable. She is a raw material in the language of the Gemara. She is a raw material. The sin of Kayin is to elevate the spiritual energy back to its source, meaning it to Zah. He did not allow the Malchut to develop in its own position in the place. Did not allow that. Well, he did not want, or he did not intend that the Malchut, the last day, should develop at its own place and the position. Do not uproot a person. Do not uproot a culture of another people. Help them to develop at their own place, their own position. The sin of Kayin was not just peculiar, or was not only for that time. It's being repeated generation after generation. You and I are also in the same picture of Kayin. We always try to uproot a person from their own domain, from their own confine. It's good, but it's relative. For example, I'm a convert. The fact that I'm a convert is because implies that I was uprooted from my own in my own place. No, a person is not converted. A person converts himself. I converted myself. All the procedures is to just to confirm my desire. No Jew came to me and said, look, I wanted to convert you. No. No, it's the opposite. I came and I said I wanted to convert. And again, certain aspect of me did not change. Yes, spiritually has changed completely. But there is one aspect that a number of aspects did not change. My color of skin is still the same. Cannot be changed. Yes. And the Torah speaks to me at my level. And as I progress learning the Torah, it speaks to me, it speaks with me, it speaks to me at all the levels that I find myself. But it never imposes or to uproot me. Yes, there are so many things that we need to. But before I get there, so Kayin sin, just wanted to end with this, with one of the mentioned here. Just bear with me, I will get it right. Okay, this is it says here, I wanted to end with this quotation from, not a quotation. I tried to also to translate a couple of words now to enable me explain this in a proper flowing ideas, or the idea, so that the idea flows without us jumping from one place to another. It says here, the flow of divine consciousness from the upper rational will, Arichalpin, into the intellect, Abba and the Ima, as I have said, Abba and the Ima, Abba and the Ima, enables them to couple, meaning enables these two to couple. All enables them, these two also to couple. And they produce emotions, meaning there is on top of the Yud here, on top of the Yud, there is one Sephirah that does not descend to this world. It only sends its spiritual energy to Abba and the Ima, so that Ima can also couple, could also have a union and keep themselves in union all the time, in order for them to produce the Za. Who is Za? The Vav. Who is Vav? The sun. Who is the sun? The six Sephirot. And the six Sephirot, in a common experience, this means that when a person experiences a true will to do all, understand or acquire something, this will produce idea in his mind about how to do, understand, and acquire this thing. The will derives his mind to gain a new insight by motivating a person to inhibit the selflessness that predicates new sight, as we have explained, and capture that insight in his conscious mind, reconstruct his worldview in its wake, and thereby producing an emotional response to it. The new supercharged emotions are potent, and they can produce a seed. That is, seed, we know, inspirational to Nukva. Nukva is the very same hay. That's Nukva. The power of expression. The power of expression. This is emotion, according to all the teachings of Arya Kadosh. This, meaning the world of Yetzirah, the Za, is the world of emotion, whereas the world of Asiya, that's the world of expression. In order to actualize the imperative originating in all will, this purity of purpose neutralizes the power of the forces of evil, who seek to derail the new divine energy for their own purpose. As we have seen, this is the theme of the night recital of the Shema before going to bed. Okay, the element of going to bed, of reciting Shema, Besot Hashem, it will come one day, not today. I wanted to devote the time to recite, because to neglect the reciting of Shema ala mita, over the bed, not over the bed, when you go to sleep, it's a very, very important one, because it's for you, it's for your benefit. Because we too are creating beings. How do we create beings? We create beings through Zera Levatala. What is Zera? Remember what we saw? Zera Levatala is when you Rabbi Benjamin, what is that? I'm looking for English word, the word emission. You are emitting something. Emission?
Emission.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. What is the other word?
You can create yourself.
Releasing the seed. Right.
It's more than release.
Yeah. Okay.
You put in the high elevation of yourself.
Yeah, no, emission is when you send something out.
Yes.
Yes. So it's when you send the seed out, either through dreams or masturbation.
Yeah.
But masturbation is so dangerous. But it's not more than just emission of seeds. Zerah Batara. They are the same, but the effect is a little bit different. But they are both dangerous. So we are creating forces once we release seeds through dreams, and therefore to protect you from these forces, because they come back to you. Chas v'shalom. So you needed to destroy them. And how do you destroy them? You destroy them through reciting the Shema before you go to sleep. So let's end with a few quotation here. in order for the spirit of Malchut to be replenished, it can be replenished apparently. Malchut must receive from Yesod, as I have said when I was drawing all the Sephirot. As we saw, the inner life force of Malchut of Yetzirah is allegorically the power of the earth to produce vegetation. In order for this to be replenished, it must receive from the next higher form of life. That is from the animal kingdom. Therefore, okay, maybe I shouldn't go there. So we have seen that if you are not like the intention of Kayin, of wanting to return the world of Yetzirah, the world of Malchut, meaning the essence of it, the inner force of that Malchut, to return it to Zah, because Zah, meaning the world of Atzirut, is everything that descended to this world, to the last day, must have originated from the world of Yetzirah. Everything that you see here in this world, the world of Malchut, the world of Asiya, it originated from the Malchut of the world of Yetzirah. And this way, Kayin wanted to return the essence of the world of Malchut, the last year. That essence, Kayin wanted to return it to its source. Where its source? The world of Yetzirah. That is the mistake that he made. The vegetable, everything is originated from that Malchut. Even it, my elder here is so yes.
Is the sense of your own power that you talk.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. So when you, maybe I should paraphrase it this. Is it possible to return me to my mother's womb or belly? It's not possible. Is it possible to return anything to its source? Yes, it is possible. What is that is returned to its source? For example, is the neshama. But neshama has to develop certain character traits here in this world. It has to perform the mitzvot, just as like we have learned from Rabbi Pinchas yesterday. The neshama has to develop certain character trait in this world. Neshama returns, yes, but can I return it to my mother? How? If I do, how? Because we have learned here that is the union of Abba and the Ima that enforces the world of Yetzirah, meaning Zah, in order the Zah to keep the world of Malchut intact. If not, the world of Malchut is deprived, meaning the energy of it depletes. And this also tells us when, excuse me, Sadiq, can you move, please? This is also, dear friends, to conclude this, we talk about the lower water and the upper water. The upper water is also called Za. And it's also called day. And it's also called Shamayim, heaven. When, for example, I'm speaking now to meditative people here. When, for example, the lower mind raise up, meaning wanting a union with a husband, meaning Za, be careful, do not deprive your wife that union becomes dangerous. Because by that, if you deny, you are implying and you are sending a message that the very same raw material that is being described in the Gemara, you are causing her to be trapped somewhere and to be vulnerable to be trapped. We have to be very, very careful in our union, in our relationship, in our homes. I wanted to end with the aspect that I've mentioned. Equality. We have got a blessing that we make every morning. What is that bracha? The bracha is, if you are a man, you are saying, thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for not made me a woman. To many people who are not familiar with this level of Torah, would understand that we are putting it down on the women. No, it's the opposite. The women also said the same thing, but it's just a changing of words. For making me a woman, if I'm not mistaken, the bracha is for making me a woman. Develop your wife at her level. Do not sow that piece of land that was given to you or listed to you. Do not sow it with a strange seed, because it may deplete the energy infused in that world of Malphite, in the world of Asia. Do not take my culture away through what you called education. A true education is the culture of a man. It's a tradition of a man. It's the custom of a man. It's not yours that you impose on me. Develop me, that is the word that you want to, in my own environment, in my own world of habitation. You cannot take a fish from the sea in order to develop a fish. You kill it. And you cannot also take the land animals to develop it into the ocean or the sea. You kill it. That, yes, say it loud. Say it out loud. If it is, yes.
Be high.
Baruch Hashem.
Be high.
Baruch Hashem.
High.
One of my elders is okay. He's going to teach me something later on after this limud. So, dear friend, that that brings us to the end of our limud for today. As I said, my rabbi said, we should stop, not to me, but to each and every student of his. Stop from preparing your limud. In the preparation of your limud, people are listening to you. But if you are coming to present, take the book and present the limud. When you present the limud, people are now listening to Akadosh Baruch Hu. Thank you very much for having given me a space to share with you. So Rabbi Pinchas and myself and all the Rabbanim of Botzina Kadisha, we will come back to our normal schedule as from tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem. Thank you very much. Leitraot Machar, B'ezrat Hashem. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen ve'amen.